Everybody, thanks, Mr. Gonzalez. I appreciate the opportunity. And today I have the pleasure of bringing to you none other than our president of network marketing and sales, a platinum executive director, six-figure ring earner, a father, a great individual, and just a wonderful leader, Mr. Don Thompson. Mr. Thompson, are you there, sir? We can't hear you, sir. You might have to unmute yourself. There you go.
All right, I'm ready. Thank you, Jeffrey. Awesome to be on with you tonight.
How's it going, sir?
Super fantastic. Hopefully everything's coming clear. There's a big thunderstorm over my house right now, so hopefully my internet doesn't go out in the middle of our interview.
I hope not, because I'm enjoying my opportunity. Not too many times that you get to interview the president of a company, of a billion-dollar company, right? That's awesome. That is awesome.
Hey, Jeffrey, I don't mean to cut you off and correct you, but we're a $2 billion company, so I just want to make sure that we because everyone should be proud of that, because a few years back we were a $1 billion company, but because of all the associates and everything that's been happening, we're now over a $2 billion company. That's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just going to jump in because I know we only have a short time with you. You're so busy. I wanted to ask, just going to go straight back. And one of the first questions I would like to ask is, one of the things that impressed me about you the most and your story getting started in LegalShield is that when you were getting started, you guys were working 12-hour days, building a business. Right out of school, you made a decision. I don't want to work for anybody. I want to be an entrepreneur myself. What are some of the key decisions that you made at that time to be able to allow you to take your wife home from work, and eventually you were home from work and go full time in LegalShield, where your journey, really began?
Absolutely. Well, actually, when my wife and I graduated from college, we actually started a retail store right out of college. So we were in a strip mall, had invested $40,000 of our own money, which isn't a lot of money, but it's a lot of money if that's all you have. And that's all we had. We invested everything we had into this retail business. That was in 1993. And then, when I was about 24 years old, I was introduced to LegalShield part-time. My brother-in-law sent me a VHS tape to introduce me to the business. And so we got started in 1996 in LegalShield. We were working 7 days a week in the retail store. We were working 80 hours a week, pretty much living there. So I had to try to figure out, how do I squeeze out time to do this business? But I just believed in the product. I believed in the business. So the best way I knew how to do that was to actually schedule my time for my LegalShield business with the same priority that I would schedule any other meeting. So, just because this was my part-time business didn't mean it was any less important to me than my retail store. So I was working 70, 80 hours a week, but 10 hours a week I would carve out of my schedule. And if I said, hey, these 2 hours I'm going to work on LegalShield, that was a priority. I didn't let anything else interfere with that. If somebody called me up and said, hey, you want to go out to dinner tonight? Even if I really wanted to go, if that was my time to work my LegalShield business, I treated that as serious as any other commitment that I have. And so when you're busy, that's good. We want busy people. I mean, the most successful people in LegalShield are busy people, but you're going to have to be serious about carving out time. If you think you'll get to it when you get to it, you'll never get to it. So carve out that time.
So basically you time block. And okay, so that's awesome, because lots of times we get people that get started, and because they don't see the value in the business because of the low startup costs, they don't give it that priority. So you gave it that right up front. So, okay. All right. So I get that. All right. So let me ask a different question, different question. I want to go to a different gear. So there's people that have productive businesses that are consistent and constantly achieving different levels and everything. And then there's other people that have, what I call popcorn success, right? So where constantly, they're in and out of a qualification, or they're constantly on the borderline of something. Having had so much success in your business, knowing what it takes to be an associate in the field, and now seeing numbers and statistics on the other side, what are the differences in businesses like that? And what does it take to get over the hump, if you will, as you say?
That's a great question, because it actually happened to me exactly like that. So back in, I hit executive director my 19th month in the business. And somebody might say, oh, wow, that's awesome. And he rocketed. But I got to tell you the story before that. My first 12 months in LegalShield, I made $1,593. That was my first full year in the company. And I was doing everything. I mean, I even started my own business briefing, rented the Best Western, was spending $50 a week to do my own business briefing, inviting guests. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't working the business. I told you I carved out 10 hours, but it just, sometimes it takes more time than others. I went to the national convention. I came back. Some things clicked in my head. I realized, first of all, I learned at the national convention what I was doing wrong. So I made some corrections in my business. Went executive director about 7 months after that. But then I was in and out of executive director for like 16 months. I'd hit for a month, I'd miss a month. I'd hit for a month, miss 2 months, hit 2 months. I was very, it's like you said, that kind of up and down.
Yeah,
and I talked to one of my mentors, Nick Serba, and I was explaining to him the dilemma I was in, that I couldn't stay consistently qualified. And back then you needed 75 memberships to qualify for executive director. And Nick asked me a very important question. He says, let me ask you a question. When you wake up on the first of the month and you're starting a new month, what's your goal for the month? And I said, to hit executive director. He said, okay. And so what are you shooting for? I said, well, I'm shooting for 75 sales because that's how many I need to do to get executive director.
Right.
He goes,
right.
Well, that's your problem. He goes, you're shooting for 75 and then you're hitting 72, 74, 76, 78, 70. So I was always within that range of 75. I was always between 70 and 80. I never fell really below 70, never really went above 80. I was sitting in that range. He goes, so you wake up at the beginning of every month, you say, I'm going to have 75 sales this month. He goes, and then you're surprised when it happens. He goes, why don't you wake up at the beginning of the month and say, I'm going to build a business with 300 sales a month.
Wow.
Put that in your mind. I'm going to create a 300 sale a month business. He goes, you'll blow right past 75 sales. You'll never look back because you're not thinking about 75. You're thinking about building 300. Wow. And that's what I did. I changed my mindset and I never missed qualifying for executive director. That was in 1998. And I never missed qualifying for executive director since then. Over 20 something years of qualifying every single month, never worried about it again. Never had a month where I was like, oh, I hope I make it this month. I blew past it and I focused on building a much bigger business than 75 sales a month.
That's exciting to me because it's not a magic recipe is what you're saying. And you see both sides of it. It's literally still a mindset. It's what you see. That's really exciting.
What you focus on is what you get. So be careful what you focus on.
True. Okay. So I got another one. All right. So let's get into a different realm. Where does your leadership come from? What is your source and your ability to achieve such high levels of leadership? You've done it on several different environments as it goes into business, right? You've hit platinum executive director, you hit the ring, and then after that, you're running a state in different genres, like in networking and in business solutions. And after that, you were senior all over the country, and then boom, you're the president of networking and marketing sales. Where does your leadership ability come from? And, what is your source and development for that? I mean, do you have a mentor? Is this the books you read? What is it about Don Thompson that gives him the ability to achieve such high level of success like that?
Well, I think the first thing to recognize is that leadership is a journey and it's not a destination. I'm still reading right now. I've got a book sitting over here. I'm reading right now. It's a journey. And I look back and John Maxwell, who's one of the people that I love to read. And by the way, there's lots of great leadership trainers out there and mentors. John Maxwell's just one that I click with because he writes the way I talk and he writes in a way that I can absorb the information. I like the way he does that.
Okay.
But, so he talks about the law of the lid and the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, which I believe is the kind of the leadership Bible. If anyone asks me, what's the first leadership book I should read? I believe it's the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership by John C. Maxwell. He talks about the law of the lid as one of those laws. And basically the law of the lid is you can only climb as far as the lid of your leadership has grown. So as you grow your lid, you're able to climb higher. Like if your lid is here, you keep hitting that lid. You can't go any higher than that. That's why you have to grow your lid because now you can expand. And by the way, if you happen to get lucky and get something that, maybe takes you to executive director or bronze or the $100,000 ring, but you haven't grown to that position, you'll fall back because that lid is always going to be there for you. Okay. Think about it this way. How many times have you heard stories about people that were, won, $1 million or $10 million in the lottery, and then, 5 years later, they were dead broke again?
All the time. Yep.
It's because they haven't grown their lid. You can hand someone $1 million, but if you don't grow their leadership lid, they can't handle it. Whereas if you take some of the most successful entrepreneurs you've ever met that have grown into that, you take away everything they have, they will pretty much get everything back within the next 5 years because it's not about the things they have, it's about who they become in the process. And that's why it's important to invest in yourself as it is anything that you can do in this business. Okay. All right. So that's exciting to know too. There's no special recipe there. You're tapping into the same sources that we are as well. So that's really exciting. Okay. Yeah. You just have, no matter how much you grow, there's always room to grow. And so you read every day, you write down things that you can apply to yourself every day. You're constantly working. I mean, you're not perfect. I mean, there's a lot of things I do well. There's a lot of things I don't do well. And so one of the things I've learned from John Maxwell is not to focus on my weaknesses, to focus on my strength. You know, sometimes people say, you know, I'm not really good at that. I'm really going to work on that. Well, you're probably never going to be awesome at that if you're not good at it. So focus on the things you are really good at and focus on becoming awesome at those things. And, you know, and that's going to help drive you. And then you'll, as you create a team, the great thing about having a team around you is you'll have people on your team that are good at lots of things you're not good at. And so you'll recognize what they're good at, what you're good at. And when you do that, that's why a team makes all the difference in the world.
Okay. All right. I love that answer. I got a lot of good nuggets for that. Okay. So switching gears, what do you want most for a brand new associate when they get started? And if they don't accomplish that goal, do you take it personally?
All right, so let me start with the last piece. You never take it personally, right? Think about it this way: if I join a gym and I plop down my $30 a month and I sit down with the gym manager and he shows me around shows me how to use the equipment, he shows me where everything's at, he gives me a workout plan, he says I'm here every day for personal training, I'm here when you have a question on nutrition, call me. If I never go back to the gym, it's not the gym manager's fault. I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. It's my fault. I have to take personal responsibility for myself. When you don't take personal responsibility, you give away the power. See, when you blame others, then that's the problem with blaming, is that you give away your power of control. So if you blame something else, you're basically saying, no matter what I do, I don't have control over that. When you take personal responsibility, you completely take control, which then is empowering because you know you can change your position because you have control. And so I never take it personally. I give everyone the same opportunity. I treat everyone. And by the way, the hardest part is if you have 10 associates in a row that you're working with and the first 9 don't do what they're supposed to do, what happens is you start shortcut. You start the next one you're less enthusiastic with, and then you're a little less enthusiastic and a little less enthusiastic. But what if this was the 10th one? That was your platinum. You would hate to have shortcutted the training, not given them full enthusiasm because of what the first 9 did. So you have to go from one to the next, never losing enthusiasm, never shortcutting. And what I want most for a new associate is I want them to believe. And there's lots of ways for them to believe, but sometimes it's not money. I made $1,593 my first year. The money did not keep me in the business. But I believed in the product. I believed in the opportunity. I believed in the company. So if I can instill that belief, and of course, helping them fast start qualifying, getting them fast start training is an important part of that belief. Helping them go manager is an important part of that belief. But I want someone that really believes in the opportunity and believes in the membership. So my job is to help mentor them and help them really develop their belief system while they're still new and they don't know. And so that's my job.
Okay, and that's an awesome answer. So Mr. Thompson, it's been said, a lot of us, sometimes when we talk about it, you say, hey man, he's got this fire, like he's just always going. What drives you, and what is your why? I mean, that's the question. What drives you?
I have a great life. I mean, and it's not around the money. Like, when things were struggling in my business, my wife and I still, we just had a great outlook on life, with our boys and stuff like that, just doing things and so forth. I love what I do. I wake up in the morning excited every day to do what I do. I mean, I get to talk to people and help transform lives. And just, if anything that I've learned in my life can help somebody else get to where they want to be, I don't think there's anything you can do better in life than to be able to influence and help somebody else who's trying to get to that point. Cool. The journey's cool, but then being able to go back and say, hey, I found the way, let me show you the way. Right. Yeah. I like to go fishing, and I have a friend of mine here on the island, young guy, and he was telling me how his buddies and him were going fishing. Well, I've been to that spot and I know where the fish are. I got the coordinates. So I said, hey, I said on my GPS in my boat, I said, I'm going to take a picture of the coordinates, and I promise you drop right there and you're going to be, you're going to load up. He's like, awesome. I appreciate that. So that's how I look at the business. I've been there. I've got the coordinates. I know where the success lies. I know which. So if I can take someone that doesn't know and say, hey, let me give, rather than you go out there and you aimlessly just float around looking for the success you're looking for, let me show you the way. And if you just follow this path, you're going to have success. And so that's what I love most. That's what keeps me enthusiastic every single day.
That is an awesome analogy. Okay. So let me ask, is there a particular goal that you're working towards now? I mean, because you've done a lot, and I'm not saying we want you to tap. I'm not saying that at all. But is there a particular goal that you're trying to achieve right now? Specifically, or I guess another way to say is like, what do we see next from Mr. Don Thompson? Like, what's the next thing?
There is a goal, and it involves everybody that's watching the Zoom today.
Okay.
My goal is that we should have 1,000 six-figure ring earners in this company.
Let's go.
200, 300, 400. I mean, those are all great numbers. I want 1,000 six-figure ring earners in this company. And so that's what gets me excited every day. We're gonna be on the leadership show next week, and we're gonna announce a whole bunch of new ring earners that have been created in this company. And I want to, and I can't do it for people. I can't get people to, I can't make the phone calls. I can't sit down with you and go through your list. I can't do the activity. But what I can do is set up the systems that when you know that you do the right activity, that the reward is sitting for you at the end. That's all I ever wanted in this business, was just show me that if I do these things, that I can get this at the end. And so we'll set up the system. You guys go to work, and let's go out and create 1,000 ring earners. That's what I want to see.
Mr. Thompson, that's my questions. I've kept you so long today. I love the interview. We'll have you back anytime, of course. But do you have any closing words for us today before we turn it back to Mr. Gonzalez?
Yeah, I mean, we are in an awesome time, and when I say awesome, I mean great, but I also mean with a responsibility on our shoulders. Nobody predicted when 2020 started that all of this stuff was going to happen this year. Yeah. I was talking to Jeff Bell, our CEO, and I was like, we knew that lead the change was going to be a powerful theme for 2020. But even we couldn't have predicted what that really would mean in terms of what we are sitting here today in August of 2020. I mean, lead the change. There are so many changes that need to be led all across North America. And to me, our membership has never been more in need than it is today. Small business owners need us. Families need us. That's why we're growing. You saw the numbers that Daniel Gonzalez shared, 12% over July. Over June. By the way, June was better than May. May was better than April. April was better than March. We've just been a steady up and to the right for the last 4 or 5 months. We've been really since January, just been up and to the right. We exploded in the last few months with recruiting. Best recruiting numbers we've had in 7 years. Best membership production we've had in over 7 or 8 years. And August is looking just as good. So now is the time. There are people out there that are wondering, how they can get some help. Maybe paying their rent, maybe they got furloughed, whatever it is, and they're waiting for you to contact them and say, hey, I've got an answer. People are more open to listening today than ever before. And so that would be my message today is that this is our time, not just our time to advance ourselves, but to make a difference in someone else's life. I mean, there is no better feeling than looking at somebody 5 years from now and knowing that that person's life, their family's life, is completely different because you 5 years before that took the opportunity to sit down with them and share this opportunity. That's having an influence. That's making a difference.
Well, Mr. Thompson, thank you once again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and visit. And guys, you heard it here first. This is the time. Back to you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Hey guys, it's been an amazing interview. Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson, for spending some time with us here today. I know you're a busy man. Thank you very much. Continue that amazing leadership that you just pour into us. You just don't stop pouring into us. You're well appreciated. Thank you for everything you do, sir. And we'll
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
All right, folks. So you heard it. He's got some big goals. 1,000 six-figure ring earners, guys. Let's get it. It's an amazing time. That was Mr. Don Thompson, folks, the LegalShield Network president. Absolutely phenomenal interview, folks. So look, announcements, right? We got some incredible incentives right now, folks. We are doing the Fired Up for PC and PC Pro that you could earn anywhere from $100 to $300 in bonus money for hitting those goals. And LegalShield and Espanol, those bonuses are double. So if you're out there building your LegalShield and Espanol business, understand that that bonus is double, folks. So get out there, go and get it. We made some announcements on the last call, but I just wanted to, hit them up again real quick. We're having advanced product training that's coming up. Just stay tuned for a date. All these things will be broadcasted and posted up on our Florida Legal Shield Facebook page. If you don't know how to find it, you just go to groups and type in Legal Shield FL, and that'll take you to our Florida Facebook page. So we're gonna have an advanced product training with the inclusion of one of our provider law firm's attorneys there, just to walk you through the membership and the product. And then we're going to have a special training to help increase premium sales. So if you ever wanted to help master, hone in, maybe you're great about talking about the membership, but how do you add additional sales to every time you're sitting down? We're going to put some trainings in place for that to help you. And as well as a training for PC for Life, guys. It's just an amazing bonus structure that I think if you really understood what it could do for you and your business, that you would take more advantage of what's there for you, folks. So, again, my mentor taught me a long time ago, if there's a $50 bill on the table and a $100 bill on the table, which one do you take? I said, I'll take the 100 because it's a bigger bill. And he said, that's a great answer. But the right answer is take both. You don't want to leave any money on the table, folks. Again, we do this every Monday night right here. We do a Florida live show with a interview with success. We always have powerful leaders that are high income earners to help you succeed in your business. And then we had a Super Saturday coming up this Saturday, folks, and we've actually partnered up with several states to deliver one powerhouse Super Saturday. It's going to be off the chain. Look, we got Mr. Alex Shahid, who's the network vice president for the Gulf Coast. We got myself, network vice president for Florida, and we got Mr. Joshua Lockhart, the network vice president for Georgia. We're coming together to collaborate and explode the markets. So you want to make sure you tap into that, and you can reach that at Florida LS Zoom as well, folks. And again, if you're in Florida, make sure you're tapping into your regional trainings. Every week, we have a training in your region put on by your regional director, right? And it's also, hosted by your local CMCs, right? They work together to deliver some great trainings and relationship building right there in your market, local, recognition. And you can catch those live on Zoom as well. Just reach up to your regional director. You should be receiving emails on those. And if not, you can find it on the Legal Shield calendar, folks. So listen, it's been a great edition of Florida Live. Thanks for spending some time with us today, folks. And we look forward to seeing you all next week, right here, Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And remember, guys, to be the change, you have to lead the change. Take care.